Hey y'all, this is Marie from our Okie homestead. I was having a conversation or two with several people actually about stalls, barns. I figured I would make a quick video describing what I did. Then y'all can see what worked for me and how well it worked, because I can show you pictures of the end result with the horse after being kept in what I'm going to show y'all. This used to be 2 stalls. It's 12 by 24 loafing shed. We had the sliding door just like what's over there. We built the same here, and we just took all that stuff off and used the track down at the other barn whenever we built this. I had the little barn built. But yeah, 12 by 24 stall. This was the stall he was kept in. Obviously, it didn't have all the chicken stuff in here, but we made windows so we could just, like, the feed was right there. Well, we had automatic water right there. We had feed over there, but you see how it's metal building. We still lined the inside with the plywood, and that's so a horse can't kick through and end up with an injury. So this was the side we kept him in. That's why the wire's on this side, so that he couldn't like mess with stuff that I had on the other side. And what I would do was basically I worked him in the front yard most of the time. He had this area that's now for the chickens and turkeys, was his turnout area. And this was the tack grooming stall. Now, at one point, it was just the 12 by 24 loafing shed. And we came in when I decided to use it as a stall area for him and a tack grooming area. Then we put this half wall in. Well, we put this wall in to divide it. We just set a post. We just tied into what was already here. So that divided up the 12 by 24 loafing shed. We had him in this. Everybody told me, okay, chickens, they noisy. Everybody was telling me I would not be able to get a show coat on him because he would be able to look out and see darkness. That didn't happen. And he had that nice show coat. And that was him being kept in this 12 by 24 that we just converted to 2 12 by 12 stalls. So he stayed in one, and he would only be in there like overnight, and then I would let him out in the mornings, let him roam around in here after he eat a little bit, and then I'd pull him out and go work him. And it was really handy because him being right here and then having my tack grooming stall right here, with it being just one horse that we were showing, and so it was just real easy. He was right here by the house. Instead of all the way down at the big barn, because we didn't have the little barn yet. This area, I just had I had fans hanging up in here, and then we had lights, and then also the windows, but that was just so that they could see out, which we cover them during the winter, is why they're covered. Even though it's not winter feeling right now today, I still expect us to get another freeze or two. I was able to just bring him in here. Obviously, the cages and the perches and stuff wasn't in here. If you just have like 1 or 2 horses and you're wanting to build a shelter for them, 12 by 24 loafing shed works really good. Then if you want to go a step beyond that, then all you have to do is just close off the fronts. And as you can see, we got the tracks from Tractor Supply. We just built the frames. We used, this looks like 1x6s we used on this door. Down in the little barn, when we built those doors, we built them a little bit different than this one. So it's like 3 different door styles kind of that we put together. But it was basically just go so far up with the door, and then we just did the wire, and then that way he'd still have some ventilation and stuff. And during the winter, when it was still cold, I had plastic that I had actually put up across the front of it and across the top. And then he had like the opening on his door where he could see out during the winter. He was kept in this stall right here. He had the lights for 16 hours a day. Anytime it was cool, of course, he was kept covered up. So him being able to look out and see darkness had no effect on his coat. All right. And anybody that's just wanting a shelter for their horses, or just an area where they can like close them up at night, this works too. Now we did have, and you can still see, some of the rubber mats are still in here. I pulled some of them out and was using them. I put them in front of the doors because it gets kind of muddy. So I thought, well, maybe that would keep it from getting worse. They were just on top of this dirt with the stall mats, and it was easy to clean. At that point in time, with it being stall mats on dirt, we used the pellets, and we would just soak them and then pour them in. It was like just putting fresh sawdust in there. So it worked really good. So don't think just because you can't build a big fancy Morton $100,000 barn means that you can't keep a horse up, keep them in good shape, and even go so far as to be getting them ready to show and having that nice show coat. Just something like that, 12 by 24 loafing shed, and then just cut it in half and put your stall mats in there. You can put your stall fronts on the front of it if that's what you want to do, or you can even just hang a gate. It kind of depends on the horse. I just wanted to put this video together on, that's one option that you can do if you're wanting a shelter for your horse, be able to get it in and out of the weather, horse or two. After a conversation with a friend, I decided to make this video to kind of show y'all that with the 12 by 24 loafing shed that we converted into the two 12 by 12 stalls. And then so many years went by, it was still kind of used as a loafing shed. We just left the doors open, they'd come and go when the fence was up on that side. But now that it's not, and they're not going in there, the chickens are using it as a coop. So dear sister helped me out by taking the front pieces off the coop that we have down by the big barn and brought it up here to convert this into the chicken coop. That 12 by 24 shed, like I said, it's been converted and been converted again. I do want to mention this loafing shed on the inside, the what they would call the short wall, was either 9 or 10 foot. We went 9 or 10 foot because I know it's supposed to be like 8, 9, 10 foot, somewhere in there for horses. Of course, once again, it depends on the horse, because the whole thing is with horses, you want to make sure if they get excited, upset, whatever, and go to trying to rear up under something, that they're not going to knock their head. Now, this was during the time when I was actually just using the loafing shed to actually have him in there to get him ready to show. And we went to Pinto World Championship show that year, which was in summertime, and then that fall we went to the Paint World show. And within just a few shows with our grandson, he got a Register of Merit, and then that first year with RC, I got the Amateur Register of Merit. And then after, we did end up building another barn, and I continued to show him until we got our Superior. Even in that 12 by 24 loafing shed, you can see he was ready for showing. You don't have to have a big fancy barn or even a little fancy barn to be able to do it. Is it harder? Yes, it is harder, but it is still possible. I did it. So if you're just looking for a shelter for your horse, I mean, think about this. If it's good enough to be able to keep a show coat on a horse, then the shelter will work out just fine. You don't have to have something big and fancy. Hope y'all have a good one. Jake? Yeah, here's my buddy. Here's my outside buddy. Yeah, yep. Yeah, Jake's a good boy. Jake's a good boy. Yeah, he is. He's a good dog.